Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you late night breaking news. You're not going to believe this. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you late night breaking news. You're not going to believe this, but it seems like our earlier theory about more conversations going on behind the scenes in the Senate has turned out to be true, as yet another Trudeau-appointed senator has crossed the floor to the Conservatives. Let's take a look. For immediate release from the office of the Leader of the Opposition in the Senate, Senator Leo Housakos. Senator Mary Jane McCallum joins Senate Conservative Caucus. The Honourable Leo Housakos, Leader of the Opposition in the Senate, announced today that Senator Mary Jane McCallum has joined the Senate Conservative Caucus. Appointed in 2017, Senator McCallum has been a strong voice in the Senate on Indigenous rights, reconciliation, and social equity. As a proud member of the Cree Nation and Barren Lands First Nation, and one of Canada's first Indigenous women dentists, she has spent decades advocating for improved health, education, and opportunity in undeserved communities in Manitoba. Quote, "After consulting with the Grand Chiefs and community leaders, I feel strongly that this is a crucial step in building bridges," end quote, said Senator McCallum. Quote, "Our communities have long sought opportunities for greater collaboration and mutual understanding. By joining the Senate Conservative Caucus, I hope to help broaden the conversation and ensure Indigenous perspectives are reflected across the full political spectrum," end quote. This decision brings a valuable, independent perspective to the Conservative Caucus and reinforces its commitment to broad, inclusive debate in the Senate. Quote, "Senator McCallum is a principled leader and a tireless advocate for Canada's Indigenous communities," end quote, said Senator Leo Housakos. Quote, "Her expertise and unique perspective will be invaluable as we work to strengthen the Senate's role as a forum for open debate, diversity of thought, rigorous accountability, and meaningful dialogue reflective of all Canadians," end quote. Senator McCallum will continue her work on Indigenous health, education, and reconciliation as a member of the Senate Conservative Caucus. This is interesting, folks. It gets more interesting by the week. In a matter of a couple of weeks, the Conservative Senate Caucus has increased by 20%, if you can believe that. So I guess the approach is going to be, well, if we're not going to get them appointed to us, we might as well convince other people to advocate for common sense and join our Conservative Caucus. This is very interesting the way this is playing out, because now that Justin Trudeau's gone, his whole fake idea of independent senator groups doesn't seem to be holding much water anymore. So let's just take another recap on where the Conservative Senate Caucus is. So we are heading over to the Canada Senate website. As you can see, this is the website where it has all of the information about all of the senators, the chamber. It's basically our Commons, but for the Senate of Canada. And here is our updated roster with all of the different Conservative senators. Now, as we showed you before, Senator David Richards, he made the jump into the Conservative Caucus a couple weeks ago. And, you know, many of you pointed out that he's going to be retiring in October of 2025. So what does that really do? Well, until then, it gives us another seat at the table, as it were, in the Conservative Caucus. But if you notice, Mary Jane McCallum, she doesn't retire until May of 2027. So we have her for a couple more years as it is. So that's some good news. Now, who is Senator Mary Jane McCallum? So this is her, and she was appointed back in 2017, 2018, and she was appointed to the Independent Senators Group by Justin Trudeau. In 2022, she had had enough of that independent senators group, even though it was supposed to be quote unquote nonpartisan. So she decided to just be literally an independent senator and be non-affiliated with any group. That is until the Conservatives and Leo Housakos and his group managed to have some conversations with her. Now, we don't know if they went to her or if she came to them, but I have a feeling that the crossing of David Richards probably had something to do with it, in that obviously the Conservatives were open to other opinions and were open to having other common sense people cross into their caucus, which is never a bad thing, especially when you're the opposition and you don't have a lot of seats in the Senate. But this is optimistically confirming what we were hoping was actually happening in the Senate, in that when Trudeau had left, there's no more loyalty to Justin Trudeau from these people that were actually appointed by him. There's no more agenda that they're going to be enacting on his quote-unquote behalf. And there's no radical ideology that we're at least hoping more than a few of these senators are going to be pushing against now that Trudeau is gone. Because remember, they have their own legacies to think about. Justin Trudeau, he's not prime minister. He's not leader of the Liberal Party. He is gone now. So what does that mean? Well, that means that they need to look out for their own legacy, and they're going to be judged based on their decisions and their arguments as they stand up in the Senate and fight back or fight for different policies. And the Senate is supposed to be the chamber of sober second thought. It's supposed to be the place where the more experienced people in life in general, because people from all walks of life are appointed as senators, and they're supposed to have the life experience and the wisdom to be able to look at the laws that are being proposed and that have been passed from the House of Commons into the Senate and really give them a good, hard look to be able to determine, is this a law that is going to benefit Canadians? And is this a law that is going to stand the test of time, as many other laws do? So these senators are going to have to think about how they're going to be judged. So it's really, really encouraging to see already 2 senators now saying, you know what? I think I'd rather be on the Conservative caucus right now, because they're the ones that seem to be conducting themselves accordingly. They are the ones that seem to be raising, proper voices, and they seem to be the ones that are actually acting as that sober second thought. So good on the Conservative caucus, man. Increasing your numbers without having any appointees. And this would have been a lot more difficult, I think, if they were all literally Liberal senators. But this quote-unquote independent Senate experiment that Justin Trudeau enacted, it looks like it's really starting to come back and bite him and the Liberals in the butt. The question is we got 1, now we have 2. Are there any more conversations going on? I think it's safe to say that there absolutely are. The question is who else wants to take a walk and join the Conservative caucus, the caucus of common sense in the Senate?